At the bottom of Ardmore Street we have the jetty, and then along beautiful front of the river we came to Heathgate up there, and that was a lovely place, and you could get crabs and prawns there, and nice beach, and the jetty was right out into the river.
I remember my two uncles with a baby's tin bath thing with a rope tied around here and a torch. I think they might have miners' lights, and they're scooping up these big blue mannas down the bottom of Helm Street.
Wow. There were prawns as well in the river in those days. Mm-hmm. People had nets, and they would take two people and they drag the net, and they're very big prawns.
At Canning Bridge, we used to go down to Canning Bridge catch, and they were also cooked in the copper.
I'd been out and I was walking back to this big fish, and a big that big was in the pool, and I picked it up and I was carrying it back to our camp, and I dropped it and it got sand, and I thought, oh, I can't take a dirty fish back, so I went to wash it and just swam it.
You could put a mooring down in the river and anchor your boat. You didn't have to pay $4,000 or $5,000 a year to have it. Or have someone speak. You just got an old engine block and chucked a chain through it and moored your boat, and that was it.
But we used to get beautiful tailor in the river.
Tailor, you used to get tailor. You used to get
tailor.
Kingies, which you'd be lucky to see a
Brim,
kingie or a mulloway this side of the East Fremantle yacht club now. No. But they used to get them right up to the top end of the river in those days.
And brim.
Brim. Cobbler, nice cobbler.
Oh,
you used to get, the cobbler were the nicest. Unless you stood on them, then you'd know all about it.
Cobbler cages with china in the bottom.
That's right.
I can remember my dad, in those days we used to rely on wood fires for heat, and in winter they used to cut down what we used to call grass trees, fuel, and I can remember Dad borrowing Granddad's boat. It was early one morning and the river was like glass, and there was just myself and my dad, and he had all these big bags he was going to fill up with grass trees. And we rowed up to the other side of Aquinas, and apparently I was playing cowboys and Indians or something. And I remember him rowing back, and again I just remember the river was just like glass, and a porpoise went under the boat. I remember looking up at Mount Pleasant, which was a real mysterious mountain with a lot of trees, and then occasional mysterious bit of smoke. So I knew a few houses were up there. This road, what is it, Kintail Road? And it was just bush. Yep. Each side, and then I remember the beautiful big gum trees outside Applecross School. There's very few of them left. A lot of them had been burnt out, like little cubbies in them.
And where Garden City is now used to be beautiful bush there, just like Wireless Hill, with lots of kangaroo paws, beautiful wildflower. And I used to take our dog up there for walks and pick kangaroo paws, and my husband used to get so cross because he said, "You're not allowed to do that." And I said to him, one of these days, it'll all go. They'll build something there.
I went to the swimming club from, I can remember I had to be able to jump in and swim before I was allowed to go to the jetty by myself. But all my summer memories were all the Applecross kids down by the jetty, no parents, and we just played in the sun.
A lot of bush, marvellous life for boys particularly, bush and lots swimming, fishing, and there were 4 children, and they had a wonderful life, particularly the boys, and because the family had a small yacht as well, and the boys used to sail off, camp somewhere down the river and come back the next day. Nobody worried because they could all swim like fish.
I can remember I had a friend who lived near Canning Bridge, and I used to drag my cane pram through the sand that's now McLeod Road to visit her.
when we were kids, there'd be about a dozen of us, would go to swim on Lucky Bay, and we'd go up and through Mrs. Strickland's place, because she had the whole lot. We'd walk down, have our swim, and then old Mrs. Strickland would have afternoon tea ready for us, lemonade and cakes and all the rest of it, and we'd all go in there after our swim.
I think it was my auntie had a kerosene tin and put the river water in and then boiled the crabs in that. Had bread and butter and vinegar and that sort of thing.
And we used to walk down there after tea at night in the summer, catch crabs. Kids used to swim. And there was always a lot of seaweed, and we used to gather it and use it for our garden.
It was so lovely in the evening, you know, when it was dark, if you walked along, there would be little lights. Everyone had a little light, and the whole river was
lovely,
little lights, like fairy lights all around with little families. You know, it was a family thing.
And we used to take our sort of sandwiches down, and then we'd probably feed the kids at home something too, and we'd have sandwiches, and then at dusk time we would be doing the prawning.
But they used to cook the prawns too on the beach.
Yeah, they'd take the old Metis coppers down and light a fire under them and take the copper out.
Yes, it was lovely. I still remember it.
One of the lovely things you'd hear at night for the freeway was you could hear the lions
roar
at night.
The lions.
The lions roaring.
Yes. Now you hear the roar of the train.
As a child, I used to be frightened.
I do remember the lions.
That was the lions roar. They'd come right across the water.
Yes, it's so still.
Yeah.
They used to have the regular trip from Perth to Mill Point to Como to Canning Bridge to Applecross and then across the river.
And one day I was walking back and I thought a bull was chasing me, but it was actually a cow. Apparently I had an apple in the back of my school bag, and there used to be a little dairy in Sleet Road near Canning Bridge, and this cow must have smelt the apple, and I think they reckon I jumped over the fence, I don't know.
And we used to occasionally see a kangaroo hopping across Canning Highway. And we had brumbies occasionally in the bush at the back of our place, yes, when we first moved there.
When we came here, Heathcote was still a nursing home for, because my wife,
Mum used to
they used to go up there and do duty, go into the wards and be locked in for the, you know, and that sort of thing.
Mum was a member of the Congregational Church at Conan Road, and the Ladies' Guild there used to run the sweet stall at Heathcote. So they would go up once a month and sell sweets to the patients.